hold on just a little while longer.
Hold on.
Hold on
Just a little while.
just a little
Mm,
while
mm, mm. Our people
longer.
have been holding on
Hold
for a long time.
on a little
Some in the belly
while
of a ship.
longer.
They did not forget who they were. They did not forget whose they were in the long, long journey. And some of them, when their feet touched these shores, they chained themselves together by St. Simon's Island, folk from the Igbo tribe, and decided that they would walk into the water to claim their freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'll be a slave,
Before
I'll be buried
I'll
in my
be
grave and go
enslaved,
home.
I'm gonna
That's how it started for some of us. There were others working on the plantation side by side, but they were determined to get to freedom. Some snuck away in the middle of the night. Some ran south toward Mexico. Some ran north. Some made freedom in the middle of the field. Some in a swamp. Some, they say, stretched out their arms and flew. I know you might not believe it, but that's what the story says. And there were some who stayed here. Those were the ones who held on and were blessed with the spirit of survival. Those were the ones who gathered together on December 31st of 1862 for that first watch night service. Suddenly all my ancestors are behind me. Be still, they say, watch and listen. You are the result of the love of thousands. You see, I believe not just those who were sitting beside each other, but thousands were gathered, waiting for that promise to be enacted on January 1st of 1863. It was not a law, it was a promise. The Emancipation Proclamation that freedom was coming. It didn't come to everybody. Folk had to keep holding on. It took a long time for the word to spread, for the change to happen, for the freedom to be realized. Some of us are still waiting. On June 19th of 1865, now that's a long way from January 1st of 1863, General Granger came into Galveston, Texas. Now, some say the reason it took so long for the word to spread all the way to Texas is because the messenger got murdered along the way. I don't know. Some say that the reason it took so long for the word to come to Texas is because the plantation owners were determined to get out one last harvest. Some say it was because it didn't matter if the word of freedom came and there were no troops to enforce it. And so, on June 19th of 1865, General Granger arrived with 2,000 federal troops and he
freedom,
delivered the order. The people of Texas
freedom,
are informed that, in accordance with
freedom.
the proclamation
Let
from the
him
executive of the
go,
United States,
let him
all
go,
slaves are free.
let him go,
This involves
let
an
him
absolute
go,
equality of
let
personal rights
him
and rights of
go.
property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages.
Pay
They are informed
me
that they will not
my
be allowed to collect
money,
at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or
pay
elsewhere.
me my money down. Pay
At the
me
age of
my
92, Felix Haywood
money down.
gave these words as part of his oral history about that day in 1865. He said soldiers all of a sudden was everywhere, coming in bunches, crossing and walking and riding. Everyone was a singing. We was
Free
all
at
walking on
last, free
golden
at
clouds.
last. Thank God
Hallelujah.
Almighty, we're free at
Union
last,
forever.
free
Hurrah,
at
boys, hurrah.
last,
Although
free
I may be
at
poor, I'll never be a
last.
slave shouting the
Thank
battle
God
cry of
Almighty,
freedom.
we're free
Everybody went
at
wild. We all felt like heroes,
last,
and nobody had made us that way but ourselves.
free
You hear
at
that? Nobody had
last.
made us that way
Thank
but ourselves.
God
We was
Almighty,
free.
we're
Just
free
like that,
at
we was free.
last. This is the year of Jubilee. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last. When
What kind of
justice set
freedom
all the
with no land?
people
What
free.
kind of freedom with no money? What kind of freedom with limited access to education?
Free,
But a determined, freedom loving people know
freedom,
how to make a way out of no way. We did, and we keep on
freedom.
doing it.
Make
You
a
see,
way
when confronted with the black
out of
code,
no
we
way.
kept fighting.
Make a
When
way
confronted with those who
out of
continued to
no
deny
way.
our humanity, we kept building, organizing, fighting for change. And when we began to gather together to celebrate this Juneteenth, there were those who tried to stop those celebrations, and we had to fight and organize. There were those who began to purchase land specifically so that we could have a place to honor our freedom, like Emancipation Park in Houston, Texas. Places like this where the people said,
Yeah,
this land is ours.
yeah,
This is where we will celebrate. This is where we will remember. This is where we
yeah,
will honor our people. These Juneteenth
yeah,
celebrations where there was
yeah.
barbecue, where there was singing, where there was storytelling,
Let
where
us
there was looking back
free,
so that we could look
free,
forward, where there was singing of our anthem, talking about lift every voice and sing, and where there was red popping, red velvet cake, lots of red to honor the blood that had been shed. These celebrations, a time of empowerment. And so as we gather in 2021,
this
may these
far
moments be an opportunity for us to look back
by
and look forward, to consider the battles that we have fought, the battles that we have won, and the battles that we have yet to face, to consider our people who
leaning
made a way out of no way, and to remember
on
that we are the result
our
of the love of thousands and thousands and
love,
thousands and thousands who
leaning
refused
on
to
our
forget who they were, who refused to forget from where they were from,
resting
who refused to forget whose they were,
on
who
His
refused
love.
to give up.
Oh, can't turn around. We come
We come
this
this far
far
by faith.
by